Did you know Menacing had its own telephone company? We were like Bell Telephone.
Menacing Telephone. No, I didn't know that, but I do have something that you gave me a copy of, which is all of the people's phone numbers or extensions or whatever that the operator would have to connect you to, right?
That's right.
And I think you told me that you guys are the only ones left on that list.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah. Men anyway.
Wow. Men anyway. Oh, really?
Well, there might be some ladies, some widows there. I'm not sure. But
Interesting.
There's certainly no men left on that sheet.
I still have it at my house.
Do you?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. It was bizarre to me to think that they produced this list of names and was it 4 digits or something? What?
Only a few.
Only a few digits anyhow. Yeah. You know, that's right.
But Alan used to drive down to my place on the 9th concession, Vesper Valley Road, to see if I wanted to go out because he couldn't get the line. There was about 22 people on the line. So,
and you could hear everybody talking?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So if you wanted something to do one night, you could listen to all the gossip?
No secrets.
No secrets. Oh, my goodness.
People of the name of Livingston's had the first telephone, and they had it, there were 2 brothers, or 2 sons, and a dad.
Okay.
And they had telephone.
They were the cat's meow back in the day.
Between the 3 of them.
Wow.
The cemetery started up 151 or 2 years ago.
Right.
They had a celebration here. And they buried somebody before it was a cemetery.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They used to bury them in Craigers.
Okay. That's a ways.
Yeah. Didn't have a cemetery in Menacing.
Interesting. So we wanted I wanted to talk a little bit about the house and the history of your family and who all lived here and the amount of time that you guys have spent here.
But you came here when you were 2 years old.
I came here in 1927, and my dad paid $1,800 for this house.
$1,800. Wow. Imagine that, eh? That's absolutely crazy. Bring those days back.
But it needed a lot of loving care.
Right.
It had been let go.
Right. Just to talk a little bit about your family's involvement in the development of Menacing.
Yeah. Well, it was through my dad that the continuation school started. And there was a fair bit of opposition.
And continuation school, you're talking about like a high school or secondary
high school, not a complete high school.
Right.
A partial high school.
So
Up to grade 12.
Oh, okay.
And then you had to go to Barrie for grade 13.
Right.
And now there's only 12.
That's right, yes.
But there was, at that time, there was
Well, I can tell you, I went to grade 13, so I know about the 13 thing, yeah.
Yeah. We had to go to Barrie for that.
Right.
We were bussed in, of course.
And he was, obviously we've spoken about this, responsible for having the road, which is now known as George Johnston Road, come through from Highway 90 all the way up to 26, right?
And when the water came in, it was Ollie Wilson. He was the village garage man, and he was the one that pushed it. And for $200, you could be supplied with water. They would hook you up, and for $25, I think it was, you could get water.
So where was the source of water? Did he have a big well, or?
You see a pot at the end of the street here before George Johnston Road, on the right-hand side.
Great big huge iron pot.
Oh yes, I know it. Yeah.
Well, that's where the well was.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And he hooked people up to their houses?
Yeah, for $200.
Wow.
And Alan, we lived next door then. And Alan used to carry a pail over, hang it on the post, and at noon when he came home for lunch, he'd bring home a pail of water.
So that's how the water delivery took place. It wasn't in a pipe.
No.
You had the right to get the water from that.
From the pump.
From the pump.
Yeah.
And you had to bring it back yourself.
No. No.
Okay, I'm getting confused.
Yeah, it allowed you to hook in the water system.
Okay.
And I forget what it cost you a year. 20.
So who would run the pipe all the way from your yard, let's say, to...
This Wilson.
Okay.
He and a couple other fellows were the committee.
So let me ask you this. He charged the guy right next door to him 200 and you 200, so the guy who was next door to him overpaid.
No.
Right? Because obviously he's got a lot longer to get here.
He needed your money.
Right.
But when we were first married, you brought our drinking water home every day.
I know.
It wasn't in a pipe then.
Yeah, and if they did any work, they'd come around and get $2 off you.
Oh. So it was progressive, Donna, is what you're saying. It started out with taking the water yourself
From
and then
the pump, yeah.
then the guy put
And you
in
had
the...
to pump it too, didn't you?
Yeah,
Right.
You had to pump it.
and then they got down below frost level. They put a tank in for your pressure, and had
okay. Yeah.
And the rest of the water was from a cistern from the rain.
Yeah, our bath water and our tap water, not to drink.
Yeah.
Was from the cistern.
Yeah,
Which
was
makes
from your
sense, yeah.
cistern. Yeah, the cistern is still in this house.
Is
it's
it?
empty. But
Wow. Well, there was one in my basement, and they knocked it down and used it for part of, doing all the, storage, putting storage in the basement and stuff. But when I first walked down there, I thought, what is this? There was a pipe coming up out of the bottom, and it was Jocelyn and Tom who indicated to me that it was a cistern. Yeah.
The cemetery down here was started a little over 150 years ago, and you could buy a plot for $2. But that didn't cut the grass. And there was a chap across the road here, Walter Downey and my dad. They decided they'd have a, what did they call it, system? Oh, you paid, I think, $30, and they would cut your grass for you.
Oh, okay.
And there was a lot of times where it was during the Depression they tried to put it through.
Wow.
And they did put it through.
Wow, yeah.
But there was a lot of opposition. But you couldn't buy a plot unless you endowed it.
Endowment, that's right.
Endowment is the name of it.
Right.
I couldn't think of it.
Right.